Most medieval cathedrals are frozen time capsules, spaces completed and set in stone centuries ago. This structure, however, has spent 800 years actively tearing itself apart and rebuilding. To locals, the Cathedral of Santa Maria of Palma, or La Seu, looks like a massive stone ship. Permanently moored on the edge of the Mediterranean, it dominates the coastline of Mallorca, anchoring the entire skyline. The whole thing started with a terrifying promise. In 1229, King Yam I of Aragon was caught in a brutal storm on his way to conquer the island. Convinced his fleet was about to be swallowed by the sea, he swore to the Virgin Mary that if he survived, he'd build her a massive church. He made it to shore. To keep his end of the bargain, he immediately ordered the city's main seafront mosque cleared so the site could be replaced by the Christian church. When you step out of the blinding Mallorcan sun and cross the threshold into the cool stone interior, the noise of the modern city instantly drops away. That storm-born vow acts as the cathedral's spiritual keel, initiating a building process that continues today. Inside, the air is thick with old wax and stone dust. Your footsteps echo up into a sprawling, hollow void that takes a moment for your eyes to fully process. This view captures an engineering paradox. The 44-meter ceiling is held up by unusually slender columns, forming one continuous, uninterrupted hall with no cross-shaped transept. Embedded high in the stone is the eye of the Gothic. At nearly 14 meters across, it's among the largest stained glass rose windows in existence. The architects positioned the cathedral to capture the sun. Twice a year, during the solstices, morning light enters this window and projects a figure 8 of colored light directly beneath the opposite window. Locals call this the spectacle of the 8. Hiding in the shadows of that engineering is a layer of local folklore. According to one legend, a 16th century pirate tried to steal a crown from a statue of the Virgin Mary, only to flee in terror when he saw the statue's hand move to stop him. The medieval architects successfully built a space that manipulates physics, but over centuries, the interior became cluttered and dark as new additions blocked the original light. By the late 19th century, La Seu was suffering from a crisis. The once bright hall had become gloomy and practically unusable for modern services. To fix it, the church hired Antoni Gaudí in 1904. He was an ambitious Catalan architect, known for radical, often controversial, ideas. Gaudí gutted the layout. He removed the choir stalls from the center of the nave to open the floor plan, and reopened bricked-up Gothic windows to let the light back in. His most striking addition was this massive wrought iron canopy suspended over the altar. However, after bitter disputes with his contractors, Gaudí stormed off the job in 1914, leaving his grand vision unfinished. The church eventually brought in another disruptor. In the early 2000s, they commissioned Mallorcan artist Miquel Barceló to overhaul the Chapel of the Blessed Sacrament. Barceló used a shattered ceramic technique to coat the chapel in a three-dimensional seascape. It's a modern, aggressive interpretation of biblical miracles set right against the ancient Gothic stone. By commissioning these modern artists, the church leaders rejected the idea that the cathedral was a finished relic. To see how this building functions, you have to climb to the roof terraces and walk directly alongside the flying buttresses and spires. From here, you can see the engineering revelation. The exterior stone walls are shockingly thin compared to the massive empty void they hold together inside. You also walk past the physical remnants of the island's history. Hidden in these upper walls are fragments of the original mosque and forgotten coats of arms from the Crown of Aragon. The building survived earthquakes and wars because its caretakers treated it as a living organism. When needs changed, they added reinforcement or new art, rather than letting the building fail or become a museum piece. La Seu is a multi-generational conversation in stone and light, showing that the most enduring history is the kind that remains unfinished.